my first love. You're my first
Well, hello everyone, welcome to Zandvoort for the first practice here at the Zandvoort Park circuit in CRC's, the second year of CRC's return to the circuit on the coast of the Netherlands, and it's raining to start the weekend off. And here for practice one. And the session is about to get underway. And the session is underway now. We only have one driver on the server right now. So no running. And the reason why we shouldn't be expecting any running is we are expecting dry running for the duration of the weekend. Now, I'm sorry that there's the bar at the bottom. Since I've done the update, it's just been there for in R-Factor 2. But it's just at the moment, there's just simply no point in getting out there right now. There's just absolutely, and we've only got one driver even in the server right now, and that is Dan Milliner. That's why you can see his name at the bottom of the screen. But it is just too wet, or it's not too wet for running. We would be able to race in these conditions. But no one's going out there. It's expected to be dry for the rest of the weekend. It is expected to be dry. mean, on Saturday we are expecting showers in the morning, but that won't, and same with tomorrow, but that won't affect any of the action tomorrow. But now just looking at the weather radar, is the weather going to ease off? Is the rain going to ease off at all? That is the big question. It's a big band of rain which is moving past, but very slow. I'm not sure if it's actually going to ease off during this session. It might lighten towards the end of the session, but still, it's going to take quite a few cars going round to dry up the track. So I don't really think we're going to get much meaningful running in this session. So I really do not think we're going to have to get many times, as it's expected. We are not expecting any rain for the rest of the weekend. Here at Zandvoort. It is a very nice circuit, Zandvoort is. Obviously, CRC has been here in the past. We went here in 2009 and 2011. And then we went here for good last year. Or until CRC ended, because I think if CRC had continued next year, we would have kept this venue. And Dan Milner has gone out onto the circuit. So we are going to get some running. So Dan Milner is out onto the circuit. Look at how much he is really struggling with these conditions. I mean, these cars are fairly easy, not too tricky to drive in the wet. But Milner just getting a little bit of running in. A little bit of lag on the stream there. Of course, that section should be an easy flat in the dry. Of course, in the wet it's a whole different story. But the rain is showing no signs of easing off. And Will Buchan is on the server right now. But as Dan Milner is heading into, and he's headed into the pits as Dan Milner. So we are not going to see a time set by Dan Milner right now. At the moment we have no drivers on the server. We have no drivers on the server right now, so we're almost 10 minutes into the session. We're almost 10 minutes in and we don't have any time set. Of course, the reason for this is for these drivers, there's just simply no point. Because if it's going to be dry for the rest of the weekend, then why waste time? We're being told Will Buchan went onto the server and Dan Miller went out onto the circuit for some setup work. Just to see how the car was feeling. And Will Buchan went on as a connection test. And when there's no one out on the server, you can't really properly see the timer. I'll put this on for now, so you can see the timer. So 20 minutes in. I'll take it off when there's a driver on the circuit. So and it's not because it's too wet. If it was expected to be wet for the rest of the weekend, this would be classed as crucial running, but this is the only rain we are expecting to have for the whole weekend. I mean, will we have a time set this session? Yes, we probably will have at least one time on the board. We'll be very surprised if we don't have at least one time on the board this session. But how many? I don't know. I don't think we're going to see many. Because this is just... what is the point? To be honest. Whilst we have this lull in proceedings, let's talk, because obviously it's the end of the summer break. Let's talk about the season so far that we've had. Obviously the final season of CRC. It's the final season of CRC. But going into this race, the drivers' standings going into this race in the second half of the season, it's Will Estley who has dominated the season so far, and at the moment, with a 51-point lead in the drivers' standings, Will Estley has really been in a class of his own so far this season. A 51-point gap he has over Alex Moores in second. Alex Moores has just seemed so unsettled this year. I mean, yes, he has had his days. He had his day in China, Valencia and Silverstone. But just on-track mistakes. And I think in terms of pure pace, and here's my theory about Alex Moores. I think in terms of pure pace, he has been very close to Will Estley. I mean, Will Estley has had the advantage on pure pace. As we've seen so many times in qualifying, Will Estley has had the advantage. But not by much. Only by around a tenth. All his poles have pretty much been only by around a tenth. But the thing that has just blighted Alex Moores so much, the thing that has blighted Alex Moores is all those mistakes that he has made. That's what has been Alex Moores' problem so far. And he's been in, for example, Hungary. He could have, had it not been for that spin he had at turn 4, I think the chances are he would have probably won the race, considering Essie's bad stop. I think he would have probably won the race. But oh, we've got Kieran Hardy on the server now. I wonder if he's going to do any running. But I do personally think he would have won the race had he not made that mistake at turn 4. And that's not the only time he's made that mistake. He's made so many mistakes. It's mainly been the first lap that has been his weak points this year. It's been starts. For example, I mean, the way he lost Australia, that was not his fault, or he wouldn't have. There'd be no way he would have beaten Leslie. But it was not his fault that he dropped to 4th in the final result because of that bad stop due to the incident with Dan Miller. But Bahrain as well. I think he threw away that race at the start. He dropped to 4th at the first corner. And because there are many cars in between him and Essie, that just gave Essie an easy run to the win. China, obviously, that was the best I think he's driven all season, China was. And that's one of 2 times I think he's had the measure over Essley this year in terms on pure pace. Russia, it was not his fault. I mean, yes, he did, or what happened at the start, but it was his fault that, well, not his, actually that was the incident with Toby Jones, but then he had an engine failure, so really he was a bit unlucky. But Turkey, that was a bad mistake that he made. In Turkey, he cut across on on everyone going into turn 1 and then just dropped to the back of the field. And then Monaco, I mean, he ran over an errant piece of debris. Canada, he was quite lucky to get points on SC that day because SC's mistake with the weather drying. Valencia, you can say he kind of lucked into. Austria, he had the measure over SC that whole weekend. That was the only one. That was the second time we've seen that. But again, those mistakes. Those mistakes he keeps on making. Silverstone, you can say he did kind of, also it was a race he kind of lucked into the win after it just so happened when Essley made his move on Alex Moores, there was a spinning back marker and Essley had to back off and then to avoid a collision, which gave Alex Moores a win. But then Hungary, it was that mistake again. He made a mistake again. In Hungary. So you can really say Alex Moores has really been on the back foot all season. So far. He has been really on the back foot. Because at the moment, SC can finish second behind Alex Moores in 7 of the last 10 races. That is 70% of the last 10 races that we do have remaining, and still be in the lead of the championship. So if he finishes second and Kieran Hardy going out onto the circuit, that's good to see. Are we going to see him set a time? I hope so. The rain has intensified though since, so he might be struggling a bit more than Dan Milner did. But 3 wins for Wood Estley and 7 second places would do it for him. And seen as apart from his DNF, he's finished in the top 3, and in Canada he's finished in the top 2 in 9 of the 11 races that we've had so far. Then I think it's going to be... I think it is going to be a tough job for Wood Estley to be able to close that gap. Or Alex Moores to be able to close that gap. Is Kieran Hardy going to go around to start a lap? I can see some blue skies, so maybe the rain is going to ease off. Oh, Hardy getting a lot of oversteer at the final corner. It seems that the final part of the lap seems to be quite dry. As into the famous Tarzan corner. And he seems to be handling the car well, does Kieran. A lot of aquaplaning. So with the 6 wins SC has taken this season, oh, Kieran Hardy really struggling to get through there. But is he going to finish the lap? That's the question. So into the final corner. And I think he is going to finish the lap. Didn't have any pit signal on, so what's the first lap going to be? It's a 1:28.1. Obviously that's around... That's actually probably around 10 to 15 seconds off what we expect the dry pace to be. So it's a 1:28.1 for Kieran Hardy in his Guindana. So Kieran Hardy setting the first time of the weekend. But Wood Estley's record this season has been outstanding. But then if you look at Alex Moores' record, in 4 races so far this season, he's not even been on the podium. And when it lags like that, that means there's another driver coming onto the server. We have Kerry-Ann Peace on the server now. Got another one as well. I'm surprised to find that. Now Kieran Hardy's at 27.9. Will Buchan's onto the server now. So he's come back on. Kerry-Ann Peace has gone out onto the circuit. Oh, look at that. Will Buchan's out onto the circuit. And Will Buchan has become the first driver to fall foul to these conditions. He is aquaplaned off at the Skyvlack. Kieran Hardy improves further on that lap. But it looks like this session is going to end up as a completely pointless session. This is where we saw Will Buchan go off. Or both Peace and Hardy really working hard to keep it together there. The tyres are now up to temperature for Will Buchan, but he's lost it again. Exact same way he did before. But he has found his way out. Kerry-Ann Peace is going to set a lap time. And she's the 29.2. I'm not sure if we do have another car coming on. It's Jack Baldwin in the other Guindana. Further joined by Louis Hyde. And David Bland. I'm not sure there's anyone else is going to really find any point going out there, to be honest. Not sure there's going to be any point anyone else going out there, to be honest. But like I said, what I was saying before, I think it is going to be a bit of a tall order for Alex Moores to close that gap. But we were saying that about Walesi last year. And we saw how he managed to. As Jack Baldwin starts a lap in his Guindana. Sorry, just fiddling around with some stream settings. As Kieran Hardy's improved to a 26.9. Let's see what Jack Baldwin's got. And he goes to the top on a 26.8. Yeah, Will Buchan, I believe, has kept going off at the side black. He's actually playing off. I don't think the Barrasso is really set up for these conditions. The reason why we've not seen much running in this session, what's the point for all these drivers to be going out there in these conditions if it's going to be dry for the rest of the weekend? As Will Buchan has managed to go off again. Kieran Hardy now to the 26.5. It's Guindano who's going to top the session. Out of 6 drivers who set times, but hopefully, obviously tomorrow, we're expecting a much more meaningful session. So, as everyone comes into the pits at the end of a not a very meaningful session, to be honest. As the rain continues to fall. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see, as far as LC is concerned, obviously CGP2 is not streamed. We'll see you for FP2 tomorrow in hopefully dry conditions. Goodbye.